We're leaving, we're going. What are you waiting for? We're gonna watch the Mario movie. It's starting in 10 minutes.
Sandwich, 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 sandwich.
1993 at Yoshi.
That is true, but this time we had Donkey.
What's up, bitches?
So yeah, contrary to popular belief, I did indeed watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but the real reason I turned on the closest camera I could find is because I have opinions on it. And the lads at Rotten Tomatoes aren't gonna like this. I think it's okay. I even think it's pretty good. I'm gonna get executed. Also, you might be noticing I'm not wearing the usual getup. That's because I forgot it at my dorm. The best I can do for you is this Mario hat. So there we go. We have the Mario. This is actually Dan's hat, but it's not. I don't have anything else here. You're going to have to live with this. But let's back up a little. What led to this movie in the first place? So all the way back in 1993, Nintendo released the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and well, if you've never seen it, there's good reason for that, because this movie sucks.
Oh no, wait, Mario, don't, no, it's not, no, that's fine, it's just a...
It takes all of the continuity from the games that sorta kind of existed at the time. Remember, 1989. 1989? 1993? I can't count, god damn it. So there wasn't a lot of continuity, but, like, Toad is not some dude. Like, that's not Toad, that's just some hippie. I don't believe you. What the f*** is that? What is it? Get it away from me. I don't want to look at this. No, I'm not having it. I'm done. Anyway, like all movies that are so bad they're good, this movie gained a cult following, because apparently some people see value in this monstrosity. Either way, for the rest of us, this movie was nothing more than something to be swept under the rug by Nintendo and never to be spoken of again. Even better is, I learned, during researching this video, I learned that the original movie, the actors were, like, drunk on set, and, like, in takes that were actually used in the final movie. They were, like, drunk, and some of them were high. Like, I don't... What was this movie? What happened here? But that being said, here we are almost exactly 30 years later with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, because, I don't know, they didn't have a better title for it.
Not yet. Pain is...
Now, sit down, because believe it or not, I am human, which means that I have opinions on this movie, and, well, yeah, actually, it's fine. It's honestly exactly what I expected a Mario movie to be. Let's start with my favorite part. All of the references. Literally, you cannot go 5 seconds without seeing a reference to a Nintendo game, and catching all these in the cinema was amazing. From the trailers, I originally was a bit worried that the references would be quite mild, and honestly, in some parts they are. Mario 1 and the Mario 1 theme is referenced a ton, but if you look carefully, you will find a lot more deep-cut references. For example, the Donkey Kong arcade theme being played when Mario wins against Donkey Kong in the battle arena.
Not even close.
Or, in the first 5 minutes, there's a reference to Spike, a character from Wrecking Crew, a video game that Nintendo has not made a new entry in since its first entry on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Of course, there's, you know, the elephant in the room, which is the advertisement, the very first thing you see, and this was used a ton in advertising material, and I loved it there, but honestly, could you imagine if they kept this, like, a secret? Like, they didn't show this in any of the trailers, and the movie just starts with that? Like, anyone who grew up watching or, like, has some knowledge about the Super Show would just immediately go, like, holy hell. Well, it's not Do the Mario, but it's the intro to the Super Show, which is close enough. Honestly, they should have done the Mario. Like, I think just the entire cast should have just done the Mario in the credits.
Mario swing die Arme auf und ab, setzt euch jetzt in Trab, Super Mario!
Just, you know, like, could you imagine, why do I keep thinking Phil Swift? No, Phil Swift does not Mario in this movie. It's... Chris Pratt, yeah. Could you, like, Chris Pratt should have done the Mario. He should have done the Mario in the credits. That's the only missed opportunity this movie has. Well, actually, there are a couple more, which I'm going to talk about later on, but this is the big one. This is the one that you should do this in the sequel, Nintendo. Do it if you dare.
I also wanted to reveal our key cast members
Voice
who
actors.
will be voicing Mario and his friends in the movie.
Chris Pratt from Mario? Excuse what? We all remember our reaction to this. And yeah, when watching the trailers, it was really hard to accept Chris Pratt as Mario being a good idea. But when sitting down in front of a cinema screen, it kind of just works. You forget that it's there. There is no uncanny valley, and Pratt's performance here is perfectly acceptable. I still think that Charles Martinet would have been more fun for fans of the series, but for general audiences, Chris Pratt does the trick and manages to give Mario a new flavor we haven't exactly seen from his game appearances. I don't think I really need to touch on the other voice actors because, honestly, they all fit in wonderfully. Jack Black as Bowser and Charlie Day as Luigi absolutely steal the show as their characters. They were born for these roles. The only voice actor I've seen a lot of discourse about is Cranky Kong, and, well, yeah, sure, Fred Armisen can do much better than this, but it works in the context of the movie, sort of. I do, well, wish that Cranky Kong had a more cranky voice, like you'd expect him to have, but honestly, it's fine, and he doesn't have that many lines in the movie anyway, so it's not like it really matters.
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas in the original Mario Brothers arcade game.
Anyway, let's talk about the actual plot now. Reviewers are tearing this movie apart for having a story that's too simple or whatever, and yeah, I'll agree, the plot plays it pretty safe. But in my opinion, that's not really a big issue. Now, I'm not here to defend this decision with my life, but I think some people are being too harsh. This is the first movie that Nintendo has made in quite a while, and playing it safe is much better than having a story that tries to do too much at once, which is a problem you could run into with the limited runtime. Yes, I would have preferred a story that does more of its concept as well, but this is a good middle ground, and specifically, it's a really good jumping off point for a sequel. This movie sort of has pilot episode vibes sometimes, and I think that's why the pacing was so fast. They wanted to introduce all the important elements of this world in a cohesive story for future movies. At least, that's what I think. Yes, this movie is not Puss in Boots' Last Wish, but in my opinion, it doesn't have to be. It's Mario, remember? His games have really simple stories, so making something with complicated subplots just wouldn't really work. The only thing that they realistically should have had time for is giving the characters more time to breathe. There are only a handful of scenes that actually develop the characters, with a lot of them being too short to actually carry much emotional value. This movie is all action, and it carries that loud and proud. A movie can just be a fun romp through a fantasy world with some action sequences. And honestly, that fits Mario pretty well. Oh man, the OST. I've been listening to this on YouTube while writing the script, and it's incredible. It's really great. While listening to it in the cinema, I sort of had a feeling that it was relying too much on its own motif, but then I realized this motif is pretty catchy on its own, and it fits the Mario styling. I think it sort of takes from a lot of the other motifs, but, well, either way, there are still a ton of references in here. It has apparently over 130 references to the actual games, and they are everywhere. They can be really hard to spot sometimes, too. Sometimes it's just, like, a part of, like, some song in New Super Mario Bros., and they go, ooh, it's that, it's from that, it's from that. There are a lot of original, or a lot of the soundtrack, at least, is original music, but it uses basically two motifs, one for Bowser, one for Mario, and they work pretty well. I think they are decently catchy, if not a little bit generic. I didn't like them when I first watched the movie, but I think they're fine now, and especially, you know, combining it with the actual references, which are a ton of fun to catch, it's pretty good.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
Mater, Tomater, that's who is here to help you.
That's not to say this movie is flawless, however. There are some annoying little gripes I have with the illumination-ness of it all. These aren't really massive problems, but I feel if they are not death by 1,000 paper cuts, more like assault by 100 paper cuts. If that makes any sense. The licensed music ticks me off to no end. You have 30 years of Mario history to pull from, and you choose Take On Me? Really? Every Illumination movie has this, like a ton of licensed soundtracks. But what makes me even angrier is the OST actually has songs for these parts in the movies where licensed music is used. Just these songs go unused. Most of the Donkey Kong references were in a song called Driving Me Bananas. This song goes unused and is replaced by Take On Me. And it just... And the same thing for Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Like, why? It's just such a generic get pumped up song nowadays. And I'm just like, I can't be excited for it. I guess it sort of fits with the era, but I don't know. Mario is a lot more than just the era that Super Mario Bros. 1 was released in. So I think using this music is just pointless. Give us a director's cut with the original soundtrack. Come on, do it. What's honestly even weirder is one of the parts of the movie uses a song called I Need a Hero. It's also from that same era. It's also sort of a generic, get excited, something's happening. Mario's doing the jumping and stuff, you know, what he does. I need a hero for that. Anyway, just, I think 2 days later, I watched the Tetris movie on Apple Movies, Apple TV, I think, I don't know, it's on something, I don't know. And it uses the same song. I'm not even kidding, it uses the exact same song. 2 video game-based movies released within a week of each other using the exact same song, the exact same licensed song, for no apparent reason. It fits neither of the movies. I don't get why. Why did you do this? Another thing is the characterization of some of the characters doesn't really sit right with me. Like, it's not bad in any way, but specifically Peach is a bit odd. I get, you know, the whole girl boss and everything. You can't have her be the damsel in distress, obviously, but does Luigi really need to be the damsel in distress in this movie? Like, after the halfway point in the movie, Luigi basically does nothing but just be in a cage for Mario to save. I think Luigi is vastly... He doesn't get enough screen time, and Peach is... I don't know. It's not what you imagine Peach to be like, and I think it's also partly the animation, where every illumination... this is gonna sound weird, but every woman that the Illumination designs has this illumination-ness to the facial structure. I do not know what it is. It's something that... It's just some style, and I somehow, when I look at Peach in this movie, I just think of Despicable Me, and you don't want that to be, you don't want that to happen. And you know, her personality is also sort of, you know, I don't know. She's a bit loud in my opinion. She's a bit talky, a bit confrontational, I guess. It's not, you know, an issue, but she feels a lot closer in personality to what Daisy should be, which makes me worried if Daisy's ever going to be in any of the Mario movies. Like, what's her personality going to be? Just constant screaming?
Hi, I'm Daisy!
Who's this ray of sunshine?
What? Oh my god, look at him! And, well, sure, the story is a bit simple. But I think with all of the setup that this movie has done, a sequel could easily remedy that. Actually, incredibly easy. Because think about, you know, the mainline Mario game with the most story. It's Super Mario Galaxy. Well, I mean, you could make an argument for some of the other ones, maybe like Mario Sunshine, but I'd say the coolest story to adapt to television would be... To television? To television? The coolest story to adapt to a movie, in my opinion, would be Super Mario Galaxy, and I really hope they do this one day, because man, this has so much potential. So, when having said all of that, what do I think about this movie? Well, I don't think it's very difficult to guess that I really like it. It's definitely not perfect, But man, for a Mario fan such as myself, this is just such a fun romp of a movie. And I would not hesitate to give this a 7 out of 9. And if they ever do that Mario Galaxy concept, that might be like the first 9 out of 9 I'm gonna give them. Well, would you look at the time? I've once again been rambling on about something I really like for 20 minutes. But let's go back to that Discord call, shall we?
Yeah, look. You
Not
know,
enough
they should've
Amiibo
stuck to the
Festival
animated
inside.
series. Could you shut up? Clearly, the animated was better than Amiibo Festival.
Take that back.
No, I'm not taking that back.
Yes,
Fuck
you
you.
are.
No. Counter argument, pipe.
Counter argument.
Exactly.
The Wii U is better.
Counter argument, my balls itch.
Fair enough.
What about now? It's time to rock with the big.
Thanks for watching to the end. I hear rumors that if you like and subscribe, you'll get a cookie. I don't know about you, but I'm doing it right away.
To the bump, to the bumper. Bump to the bump, to the bump, to the bass. Bump to the bump, to the bumper.